What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Schmidty coming at you live on Money Monday, and we've got a smaller slate in Major League Baseball. Appreciate you guys being patient with me. I've actually had a really rough week last week, and I'm back at it with you guys. And I'm so sorry that I've been slacking here. Just have a lot going on, but I appreciate you guys supporting me to the max. As always, it's a new week, ready to grind, ready to get at it. I know the NFL started, and we had some great success yesterday on the NFL. Let me know who you guys took and what kind of money you made on the NFL. And I'm just happy football is back. We had a lot of upsets in college football as well, and I know a lot of people are probably like, "Man, the MLB is done." We don't really care about the MLB anymore, but then I know that I do, and I know a lot of you guys actually still do. And but we're smelling the money today. It's Money Monday. I think there's a lot of great options for us to choose from here today, and why not just go through the whole slate here, boys? Drop any of your thoughts in the comments. I'll get to everyone, of course, and we'll make this quick here today. Don't want to hold you guys up too long, and I'm gonna drop what I like here today, and we'll get to it here. So obviously the first game was early, and we were on the Rangers, and the Rangers just went up 3-2 plus money. So you gotta love that. I should have hammered them when they were down 2-0 too, but it is like that. Um, for next game is actually coming up in less than 3 hours, and we have the Angels and the Guardians. And this one, two lefties on the mound, Reed Detmers and Connor Pilkington. And in this one, I have a slight lean to the Angels here today, just because the Guardians are the second to worst team in the league against left-handed pitching. And I know Reed Detmers isn't that great, but you look at his road splits. He's 3-2 on the road, a 3.8 ERA. That's not terrible. And Connor Pilkington, he's actually 1-2 with a 4.08 ERA at home. So I'm leaning the Angels. We've seen this Angels team be hot here, and I do like the Angels team total, like you said, Justin. But I do have a slight lean just the Angels either the cover or win outright here today on plus money. We can look at the splits against Connor Pilkington. I mean, none of these guys have taken on Connor Pilkington, so that's to read. But then against Detmers, I mean, some of the better hitters do have good stats against him. But actually, when you look at against Cleveland this season, it was actually a really solid outing for Detmers. I mean, but that was all the way back at the end of April, so that's not really a good gauge necessarily. But he had 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, only 1 earned run, and it was on a home run. So, I think lots of scoring could actually be potentially happening here today, but then also the Guardians do not hit lefties well at all. So I think there's tremendous value in the underdog on the Angels, a team that has been pretty hot here as of late because Mike Trout has picked up the bat and he's swinging a big stick around. But we'll move on. That's not exactly my favorite gameplay of the day. And apologize, they're doing yard work or something around here, maintenance. So hopefully it's not super annoying for you guys. But the next play, the Astros and the Tigers, I think we're all over the Astros. I mean, there's not really much else you can do. You guys know I love my guy, Framber Valdez. I love him to get his strikeouts here today against Detroit. And then, of course, Eduardo Rodriguez is just a guy to fade. He has a 4 ERA at home. So I'm loving the Astros here today. And then some great options for hitters in this game as well. Altuve and Bregman and Mancini. All those guys have amazing splits against Rodriguez, and I think that the Astros get it done here today. I'm taking the Astros stack. I'm taking them first 5 team total over, their first 5 run line, and then I'm taking the game money line and the game run line here today. So definitely going to rock with the Astros. You can love me or fade me if you see a potential dog here in Detroit, but I can't not back my guy Framber. He's just a beast. I'm taking his over in strikeouts as well. Next game on the slate, the Pirates and the Reds. And now in this one, on the mound, we have Breece Wilson and Mike Minor going, and neither of these pitchers have been good at all. So right now, I'm actually leaning the first 5 over in this game. It should be at 4.5 or 5. But the game over under is at 9. So if you can get that at 4.5, I do really like that in this matchup. But I do like leaning the Pirates to cover here today. I mean, the Reds are minus 140 against a Pirates team that could easily beat them with Mike Minor on the mound. Another play where I think that there's tremendous value and looking at the Pirates to cover at least or even win outright here today. But again, not one of my favorite games to put action on unless you're taking the over in the first 5 in that one. And then the Rays and the Blue Jays. Now, this is a very interesting matchup today, a critical battle in the AL East wildcard race. And it's in Toronto, which I think is huge for the Blue Jays here today. And the Rays are going with the bullpen guy, hasn't even played this year. And then Jose Berrios on the mound for the Blue Jays. And Jose Berrios hasn't necessarily he's given up some runs at home, a 4.28 ERA, but he is 6-1 at home, and that means that the Jays show up for him offensively, and they produce. So I really do like the Blue Jays here to win this one. Just because they're at home and they have been hitting the ball well. We've seen Bichette heat up here, and then depending on their lineup, if it's Jansen or Kirk, any of those guys are hitting the ball really well. Springer, it looks like Jansen is in the lineup today as far as I can tell. So Jansen has been smacking the ball around. Chapman, and those guys are just rolling right now. So I really do like Toronto against a pitcher that we don't even know his name. So yeah, Latif, I do like the over 9, I would say, in the Pirates Reds game, but your best bet might be that F5 just in case. But again, because if you can get it at 4.5, I think that's a better value through 5 innings than taking the over 9. But I think runs will be scored in that game. Obviously, 2 very shaky pitchers. And we talked about the Blue Jays. I like the Blue Jays here today. Their first 5 team total over. Yes, Justin, definitely like that play as well. 5.5, yeah, that's actually tough. With it that high, I definitely like the game over 9. Actually, rather. Let me know what book that's on. I actually haven't dove into it. Just find out what specific numbers we could find around. But anyways, moving on. The Cubs and the Mets here today. Now this one scares me. We've been taking shots on the Mets, and when they're minus 300, they seem to have a problem winning. Just like any of these teams, when they have worse odds, minus 300 or more, they're not winning these games, and it's scary. And it means that there's crazy value on Chicago here. And you look at the guy Javier Assad going for the Cubs, and he hasn't necessarily been terrible, but going up against the Mets, a right-handed pitcher. We look at the right-handed splits here. The Mets are the second best team in the league against right-handed pitching. So these odds, it does make sense why they would be favored against a Chicago team that almost has 30 more losses than wins. And the Mets are at home, and they're competing with the Braves here for that NL East crown pennant race here. So Chris Bassett on the mound. You look at right-handed contact for the Cubs here. Chicago is 14th in the MLB in OPS. So, definitely one where I would tread lightly. I like the Mets. I'm going to say I like the Mets, but they are minus 300. We know the rules here that it's just the law. Maybe sprinkle a little bit on the Cubs because you never know. But the Mets should be able to win, and they need to win this game. If they don't win, it's pretty tragic. But like I said, we've been getting burned by these minus 300 teams. So just tread lightly. Only 2 guys have splits against Chris Bassett. And they didn't hit him well. So that's good news. And then there's no career splits against Assad for the Mets. So I do like the Mets to win big here today. Let's hope they don't let us down. But definitely taking the Mets in this one. Game 2, Rangers-Marlins. We see Texas. They're up on the Marlins right now. And usually in these doubles headers, they end up being splits here. So I kind of do like the Marlins in the second game. But then John Gray is back on the mound for the Rangers. Another game where I'm not sure if I'm going to put any action on it. But I do like backing John Gray over Braxton Garrett, but like I said, with these double headers, we always tend to see the team that loses the first game, they can turn around and get the split by winning the second game. But again, a game that I'm probably not going to spend too much time trying to put money on unless you take John Gray over strikeouts, because Miami strikes out a ton, and we've seen a lot of pitchers putting up crazy strikeout numbers against the Marlins. Oh, what's up, Louise? How you doing? Tigers plus 1.5. Really? Wow, he's rolling with the dogs today. The dogs. D-backs plus 1.5. I do like the D-backs, but the Dodgers do own them at home. I have to say, to be honest with you guys, Preston. Yeah, we talked about the Cleveland game. I'm leaning the Angels actually to win that game just because the Guardians cannot hit left-handed pitching very well, and the Angels have actually really improved here as of late down the stretch. But Dodgers, Diamondbacks, I did take Dodgers just because I know that they own the Diamondbacks. But the Arizona has been playing a lot better in recent since the All-Star break. But in this one, you got the guy Tyler Anderson going on the mound, left-handed pitching. The D-backs aren't that great against left-handed pitching. They're 23rd in the MLB. So Anderson 6-3 on the road, 3.12 ERA, and you look at up 12 hits, but only 2 earned runs in 2. It could be a possible upset here for the D-backs, but really hard just not to take the Dodgers in this spot, especially against Ryan Nelson going on the mound for the D-backs, and the Dodgers pump righties, and I have to be real with you guys. They own the D-backs, especially here in Phoenix where I'm at. So I'm going to rock with the Dodgers. If you want to take a D-backs upset, I know I'm fading my local team here, but I think I got to rock with the Dodgers and Tyler Anderson. And the over, Latif, I do agree with that. Is actually an outstanding play. If you don't want to take one of these guys straight up, the over 9, I think, is a very solid play in that one as well. Because it would a total that high, it's probably for a reason. Our last game of the day. Thanks for bearing with me through the slate. Braves, Giants. I do like a Nerfy in this game, Preston. And then I do love Strider over K's. I feel like you just got to hammer Strider over K's because he continually hits it time and time again. What else can you do if he doesn't get his strikeout total? Going up against the Giants, who have been striking out quite a bit amount. We saw, I think it was Corbin Burns. But yeah, in this one, I like the Braves to win for sure. The Giants actually are given a better percentage to win according to ESPN's predictor, but Atlanta minus 190. Going up against Alex Cobb, who hasn't been that great this season, 4-6 at home, a 2.57 ERA, which isn't terrible, but he hasn't played Atlanta this season. But I just really like the Braves here today. They hit right-handed pitching very well, 5th in the league in OPS against right-handed pitching. It's really tough to try to fade the Braves here, especially when they're competing with the Mets, like we talked about earlier, in the NL East pennant race. So that is all I got for you guys here today. Potential YRFIs, I would say, maybe that Rangers-Marlins game or the Cubs-Mets game if the Mets get one up, or even the Blue Jays, Rays, and Reds, Pirates. I know the Reds, Pirates would probably be a pretty juiced YRFI if I had to guess. But I definitely like that. And then Astros, Tigers could be a good YRFI. The only Nerfy options I like, Preston pointed one out, the Braves and the Giants. And then what was the other one? I guess the Cubs and the Mets. As long as the Mets don't get to Javier Assad in the first inning, it's not a bad call for a Nerfy. But otherwise, I think I like a YRFI in most of these games here today. Yeah, that's what I'm rocking with. Strider and Fromber over in K's. That's what I like here today. And then maybe Bassett taking his over in K's. And then hitters, I think anybody on Houston, like I was saying, I think Altuve, Tucker, or Bregman are great options here today for hits or total bases, especially for Bregman and Altuve. Those guys just smack the ball around, as we all know. And then even the Angels, Trout has been on fire. I would even take a look at Trout's total bases here today. That's not a bad option as well. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Follow me on Twitter at the Ethan Schmidt. I will post a final card today, and I'll post my final plays in the pinned comment after we get this video up, after it processes from the live. Join the Discord. Lots of great community conversations going on in there. So appreciate you guys. Love y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. Just figuring out a lot of stuff. I need to get a new computer, and I appreciate you guys bearing with me for the live here. And yes, go Vols, baby. Gotta love it. Big time win at Pittsburgh, and they covered. So appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the flip. Let's win some money here today. Peace out.